So one of the stories that went up on, I believe it was Saturday, was something about the Postal Service. Now, Democratic Senator Gary Peters of Michigan and Republican Senator Rob Portman of Ohio have introduced a bill to the Senate known as the Postal Service Reform Act of 2021. Now, this is obviously having to do with all the chaos that sort of came about last year during the presidential election in November, October, September time. They called the Postmaster General Louis DeJoy into Congress multiple times to interview him to make sure that the Postal Service was up to snuff. And there was a lot of different communications and a lot of different, I think the right word to say is a lot of different expressions as to how the Postal Service was to operate concerning this. So Democratic senators have put forth this bill, which was originally introduced in the House of Representatives by Democratic Representative Carolyn Maloney, and it has achieved bipartisan support before. Now, the bill itself, according to David Shepperson at Reuters, said that the legislation would eliminate a requirement that U.S. Postal Service pre-fund retiree health benefits for 75 years and would require postal employees to enroll in the Medicare government retiree health plan. Instead, the Postal Service would pay a small yearly top-up payment to address actual annual retiree costs. CNN reports that the legislation would also require a Postal Service to continue delivering at least 6 days a week, require the publication of data on the Postal Service website, and report to Congress every 6 months on finances and operations. Now, both sides of the aisle say that the bill will help the post office save approximately $45 billion over the next 10 years, but we will just have to see how that turns out. In other news, something else that went up over the weekend I found very interesting. A ranger traversing the Mucklem River watershed in California, and I hope I pronounced that right. I might have mispronounced it. But anyways, in this river watershed in California, the petrified remains of a forest was discovered, and it eventually became one of the most significant in California history due to the presence of animal bones as well. Essentially, somebody stumbled across a huge treasure trove of fossilized remains. Now, research is still being conducted in the area. Multiple species of creatures have been discovered from the fossilized remains, including a couple of them, a tapir, mastodon, a camel, a horse, a tortoise, a rhinoceros, and a more old elephant-like animal called the gomphothir, which I had never heard of until I had done the research into this story. So really interesting stuff going on there. As I said, research is still going on. So as that comes out, hopefully more will come out and we'll be able to report on it, but you can go to FISM.tv/news to read the full article. There's a lot of interesting information about that story in particular. Other news that's been going up, Dr. Anthony Fauci has obviously been enjoying the spotlight for the last year as he keeps going on different shows and doing a bunch of different interviews. And Sam Case did an article on this, and he said he found some t-shirts that read, "In Fauci We Trust." So obviously he's a very popularized person at this point, although Fauci's luster is fading among a growing number of Americans. A new poll from Trafalgar Group shows that confidence in Dr. Fauci has decreased in 42.2% of Americans, and 30.1% of respondents said that their confidence has decreased significantly in the good doctor. Now, politically, the biggest drop is seen among Republicans, which makes a lot of sense. 66.1% of Republicans say they've lost confidence with Fauci, while 50% say that they have decreased significantly, their confidence with Fauci. Democrats, 34.7% say their opinions are unchanged, and about 20% say that their confidence in Fauci has increased significantly, actually. So Democrats seem to be the only ones whose opinions either haven't changed of Fauci or that they trust him a little bit more. But still a portion of Democrats, about 20%, say that their confidence has decreased. So overall, it seems like everybody across the aisle is losing their trust in the good doctor. Even independents are more likely than Democrats to have a negative view of Fauci. About 42% say that their confidence has decreased, with about 28% reporting a significant decrease.
Go to FISM.tv/news for more.